Hey Transyouth, it is yet another Monday on Transyouth channel, and I have absolutely no messages this week. Now don't get me wrong, the normal still applies. If you want to be a part of Transyouth channel, please send your application with the 4 things that we asked for, wrote about down here in the description, to transyouthchannel@gmail.com. And if you have absolutely any questions, if you would like to explore a question regarding trans life, then by all means send that to transyouthchannel@gmail.com. So moving on to the actual topic at hand, this is actually a very big topic that a lot of people have asked time and time again, and to be honest, I don't really know how to answer it. But I'm going to answer it now because it has come through our message system at least 5 or 6 times. Are there any forms of media or videos or shows that do actually show a trans or LGBT friendly relationship in their sitcoms, or is it all just derogatory? Now before I answer this, I want to make it clear that this is not necessarily talking about trans people and their views in the media. It's already been assumed and very well accepted that it is not in fact good. What we're looking for is the solution. Has the solution to this come to light yet within our sitcoms and our TV shows? Has the transgender stereotype become any better? Now, as far as everything goes in a whole, there have been a lot of advances in the media regarding the way that they view the LGBT community since 2000, or more especially the 1990s, which were absolutely terrible. And I have to say that there are some shows that do show that in a more positive light. And a good majority of the reason is because of the celebrity population that's coming out as LGBT. We have lesbians now on the camera as completely usual and normal, and we have gay people as well. And that's kind of opening the doors for the transgender community. However, I do not think that I can come up with any shows that specifically show the transgender life as a positive thing, and this is kind of a bad thing in my opinion. What few I can come up with is actually just a few episodes in different series, such as Dancing with the Stars and Chaz Bono, or there were a few in House that talked about the intersex condition, and there were a few episodes about transgendered people. Then they were painted in a somewhat positive aspect, but they were still kind of regarded as a bit of a joke. There were actually a lot of British comedies that kind of went further with the entire idea. There was an episode of The IT Crowd, which was not viewed in the most positive aspect for transgender people, but it did paint the life of a transgender person very accurately. For the most part, in that episode, it was actually very derogatory and very mean, because the way that the person handling the interaction with the transgendered person was very curt and not very nice in any way, shape, or form. And it was seen as a form of comedy, which wasn't okay. But the transgendered person that was there was actually transgendered and did explain a lot of the things that she had gone through and the harsh realities of everything. One of the biggest places where I have seen it is in anime. If you're not familiar with anime, which I'm pretty sure most of you are, it's a form of Japanese animation. And in Japan, their entire idea of LGBT has turned on a dime with this new set of generations. And it's also seen as a very progressive country. And cross-dressing wasn't that big of a deal in Japan, so being transgendered isn't as much of a big deal. Now, there still are issues, there still is discrimination in Japan, don't get me wrong, but it is generally more accepted in society. As a result, we have a lot of animes that are okay with gender bending, and in fact make that a just basic thing about a character. It's not necessarily their identity that makes them a character. I can point out a few of them, but unfortunately I'm not totally up to date with titles. I think Camphor was one of them, and there's actually an anime, you'll have to Google it, but it's about transgendered kids, 8-year-old transgender kids, and that's absolutely awesome and really cool. I'll post that in the description if I manage to find it. Otherwise, I can say that there are titles out there, and if you are looking for one of these titles, you're probably going to be hard-pressed to find it, but I would start by looking on LGBT forums, because the majority of the LGBT community is going to endorse the ones that accept the LGBT community. So it seems that would be a really good place to start. So I'm not really too sure how to answer the question, which was originally, what are the shows, because you kind of want to watch it or whatever, but I can tell you where to go in order to find those. Go to forums, go to other LGBT people, and start networking, because networking is the way that you get information you did not know. Just start networking. Go to these different communities and ask them. In addition to all of that, you can use Google. Google is a good place to go, especially since it is so close as a central hub for the media. In addition, you can probably go to several corporations that have in the past funded those programs, such as the creators of Will and Grace, who had being gay as a predominant state in the comedy, but it was not necessarily the focal point. That was a very progressive comedy show, and because of that, they may have endorsed other progressive comedy shows. It's going to take a little bit of research, but I think that it's definitely well worth it. So thank you to whoever gave us this question. We don't really want to put your name out there or anything like that, since we didn't really get the permission, but thank you very much. And if any of you have any questions for Trans Youth Channel, just toss it in the comments or talk to me in a PM or send it to transyouthchannel@gmail.com. And I will talk to you guys next week. Hopefully we'll get good opinions from the other 6 on trans youth. Thanks guys. Bye.